Good day, everyone, especially to our aquatic resources instructor, Mrs. Gisela Grace Pañaras, and to all of those who are watching this video reporting of mine. So in this video, I'll report about sea cucumber, or what we scientifically known as Holothoroida. So let me share my screen first. So here it is. So sea cucumber or Holothoroida. What are sea cucumbers? So sea cucumbers are echinoderms just like starfish, sea urchins, brittle stars, and crinoids. But sea cucumbers are from the class Holothoroida. They are marine animals with a leathery skin and an elongated body containing a single branch gonad. Sea cucumbers are found on the sea floor worldwide. So the taxonomic classification of sea cucumber, they are under domain Eukaryota, kingdom Animalia, phylum Echinodermata, subphylum Echinozoa, class Holothoroida. They there is 7 orders, 29 families, 238 genus, and 1,709 species all in all in this class. So first, order Dendrochirotida, order Apodida, order Elasipodida, order Holotorida, order Molpadida, then order Sinalactida, then, sorry, order Persiculida. So this data is from ITIS, or Integrated Taxonomic Information System report. Uh, so under the order, different orders from the class Holothorida, there are the respective families. So for example, in this order Elasipodida, family Elpididae, family Lightmogonidae. So these 4 families are under order Elasipodida, which is also under class Holothoroida. So characteristics of sea cucumbers, they are typically 10 to 30 centimeter or 4 to 12 inches in length. Although the smallest known species are just 3 millimeter or 0.12 inches long. So I think that's Thionina bijui, smallest sea cucumber, and the largest can reach 3 meters or 10 feet. And that's Holothoria tomasi, or tiger tail. So the body ranges from almost spherical to worm-like and lacks the arms found in many other echinoderms, such as starfish. The anterior end of the animal containing the mouth corresponds to the oral pole of other echinoderms, which in most cases is the underside, while the posterior end containing the anus corresponds to the arboreal pole. Thus, compared with other echinoderms, sea cucumbers can be said to be lying on their side. So sea cucumbers extract oxygen from water in a pair of respiratory trees that branch in the cloaca just inside the anus, so that they breathe by drawing water in through the anus and then expelling it. So respiratory trees, so mo ni siya kaning naa sa kilid nga picture, natay diagram din hiya. The intestine is typically long and cold and loops through the body 3 times before terminating in a cloacal chamber, or directly as the anus. So the intestine, here it is, na naka-label intestine sa diagram. So together with the intestine, the respiratory trees also act as excretory organs, with nitrogenous waste diffusing across the tubule walls in the form of ammonia and phagocytic coelomocytes depositing particulate waste. So, sea cucumbers do not have a true brain and no true sensory organs. Instead, a complex network of neurons helps sea cucumbers experience touch and the presence of light. They can range in color but are usually well suited to blend into their native habitats. So like all echinoderms, sea cucumbers possess both a water vascular system that provides hydraulic pressure to the tentacles and tube feet, allowing them to move, and a hemal system. Echinoderms typically possess an internal skeleton composed of plates of calcium carbonate. In most sea cucumbers, however, these have become reduced to microscopic ossicles embedded beneath the skin. A few genera, such as Speirotoria, retain relatively large plates, giving them a scaly armor. So ecology of sea cucumbers. Sea cucumbers play a vital role in marine ecosystems. As deposit feeders, sea cucumbers play an important role in nutrient cycling. Their actions reduce organic loads and redistribute surface sediment, and the inorganic nitrogen and phosphorus they excrete enhances the benthic habitat. So their temperature, they can tolerate at temperature 5 to 15 degrees Celsius with salinity of 27 to 35 ppt. So regeneration, so they have very strong regenerative capacity. So first, what is regeneration? So regeneration is the restoring of damaged or missing cells, tissues, organs, and even entire body parts to full function in plants and animals. So other examples of animals, of an animal nga mo regenerate, commonly is the lizard, di ba? Kay mawa man ng kanang isang ikog, lizard loses its tail and then it grows back. So when it comes to sea cucumbers, they regenerate their lost organs after evisceration. So uh, in in a simple explanation, regeneration is the process of renewing, or replacing, restoring damage of missing cells. So sa sea cucumber, ilaha is mo regenerate ang kanang gut bitaw nga ilahang na expose sa kanang pag eviscerate nila after evisceration. So next is their habitat distribution. Sea cucumbers can be found in great numbers on the deep sea floor, where they often make up the majority of the animal biomass. At depths deeper than 8.9 kilometer or 5.5 miles. Sea cucumbers comprise 90% of the total mass of the macrofauna. Sea cucumbers form large herds that move across the bathygraphic features of the ocean, hunting food. Holothurians appear to be the echinoderms best adapted to extreme depths and are still very diversified beyond 5,000 meters deep. In more shallow waters, sea cucumbers can form dense populations. So the Philippines has about 100 species of sea cucumbers, but only few are commercially valuable. Its fisheries served as source of livelihood for many of the coastal communities in the archipelago and forms the basis of a multi-million dollar export industry of dried sea cucumbers. So next is their diet. Holosauroida are generally scavengers, feeding on debris in the benthic zone of the ocean. The diet of most sea cucumbers consists of plankton and decaying organic matter found in the sea. So sea cucumbers position themselves in currents and catch food that flows by with their open tentacles. They also sift through the bottom sediments using their tentacles. Other species can dig into bottom silt or sand until they are completely buried. They then extrude their feeding tentacles, ready to withdraw at any hint of danger. So predators and defensive systems of a sea cucumber. So sea cucumbers are often ignored by most of the marine predators because of the toxins they contain, in particular holothurine, and because of their often spectacular defensive systems. Some species of coral reef sea cucumbers within the order Aspidochirotida can defend themselves by expelling their sticky Cuvierian tubules to entangle potential predators. When startled, these cucumbers may expel some of them through a tear in the wall of the cloaca in an automatic process known as evisceration. So, what is evisceration? Evisceration is a method of uh, kanang autonomy involving the ejection of internal organs used by animals as defensive strategy. So in sea cucumbers, ang ilahang gut ang ilahang ipagawas. So next is if the water temperature becomes too high, some species of sea cucumber from temperate seas can estivate. So estivate is characterized by inactivity and a lowered metabolic rate that is entered in response to high temperature. While they are in this state of dormancy, they stop feeding, their gut atrophies, their metabolism slows down, and they lose weight. The body returns to its normal state when conditions improve. So life cycle of a sea cucumber. In all other species, the egg develops into a free swimming larva, typically after around 3 days of development. The first stage of larval development is known as an auricularia and is only around 1 millimeter in length. This larva swims by means of a long band of cilia wrapped around its body and somewhat resembles the bipinnaria larva of starfish. As the larva grows, it transforms into Doliolaria with a barrel-shaped body and 3 to 5 separate rings of cilia. The Pentacularia is the third larval stage of sea cucumber where the tentacles appear. The tentacles are usually the first adult features to appear before the regular tube feet. So next is the reproduction. So most sea cucumbers reproduce by releasing sperm and ova into the ocean water. Depending on conditions, one organism can produce thousands of gametes. Sea cucumbers are typically dioecious. Uh, Dioecious organisms that produce either male or female reproductive organs and gametes, but never both at the same time. So, the reproductive, sea cucumbers are typically dioecious. So, as what I've said, dioecious is kanang organisms that produce either male or female reproductive organs, but never both at the same time, with separate male and female individuals. But some species are protandric. So, protandric is the ability in some animals to switch their sex based on environmental cues as changes in temperature. The reproductive system consists of a single gonad consisting of a cluster of tubules emptying into a single duct that opens on the upper surface of the animal close to the tentacles. At least 30 species, including the red-chested sea cucumber, fertilize their eggs internally and then pick up the fertilized zygote with one of their feeding tentacles. The egg is then inserted into a pouch on the adult's body, where it develops and eventually hatches from the pouch as a juvenile sea cucumber. A few species are known to brood their young inside the body cavity, giving birth through a small rupture in the body wall close to the anus. So economic importance, across the Pacific, sea cucumber fisheries represent the third most economically valuable marine export commodity after only tuna and pearls, with an annual worth in the region of 20 to 50 million USD. Treated as luxury food, sea cucumber is exported by the Philippines to Oriental markets that include Hong Kong SAR, the Republic of Korea, Malaysia, Singapore, Taiwan, and to China, where it is used as an important ingredient for the production of traditional medicine. So here are the example of sea cucumbers as food. Take a look at the picture. So dried sea cucumbers are an important food source and flavoring source in Asia. Before drying, the sea cucumbers are boiled and the bodies contract and thicken and organs are expelled. Sometimes sea cucumbers are considered as an aphrodisiac. Sea cucumbers can also be eaten raw, pickled, or fried. They have slippery texture and bland taste, so they're usually infused with flavor from other ingredients like meats, other seafood, or spices. Sea cucumbers as medicine. So sea cucumbers are used in traditional Chinese medicine to treat fatigue, impotence, constipation, frequent urination, and joint pain. It is also a rich source of uh, chondroitin sulfate, commonly used for arthritis. Sea cucumbers are rich in antioxidants and polyphenols, micronutrients from plant-based foods, which have been linked to a reduction in inflammation in the body. This is connected to a lower risk of chronic disease. Threats of sea cucumbers. So they are fished and farmed commercially and are thus at risk of being overfished. Additionally, they are vulnerable to climate change and ocean acidification, habitat destruction, illegal fishing, and water pollution. So aquaculture, Philippines is now able to culture sandfish, Holothoria scabra in the hatchery. To accelerate production of sunfish juveniles for grow out, a partnership was forged with the Palawan Aquaculture Corporation and Alson's Aquaculture Corporation to integrate sunfish culture in their hatchery and nursery production operations. Low-cost ocean nursery systems were developed to reduce the cost and diversify systems for juvenile production. Floating hapas are used for mass rearing of post-settled juveniles to release size. The viability and adaptability of the floating hapa system for small-scale growers were demonstrated by field trials conducted with community partners in Anda, Pangasinan, Coron, Palawan, and Maasim, Sarangani province. The development of ocean floating hapa system has opened up possibilities for involving small-scale growers in the scaling up of the production of sandfish juveniles. The bottom set hapa cages and bottom set trays are being developed to address the seasonal constraints in the use of the floating hapa system. A pilot communal sea ranch has been established in Bolinao, Pangasinan in collaboration with the Samahan ng Maliliit na Mangingisda ng Victory Incorporated. To optimize growth and survival of juvenile sunfish to reach harvestable size. So current status and trends. Of the 70 or more species of exploited sea cucumbers, 7 are now classified as endangered, all through exploitation, forcing numerous fisheries worldwide to shut down and damaging local economies in the process. Sea cucumber in India, treated as an endangered species, listed under Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. Diona et al. 2021 indicated that the sea cucumber fishery in the Philippines is in the state of overexploitation. Conservation and laws protecting sea cucumbers. In 2020, the Indian government created the world's first sea cucumber conservation area, uh, the Dr. Kiki Mohammed Koya Sea Cucumber Conservation Reserve, to protect the sea cucumber species in India. So in that country, the commercial harvesting and transportation of sea cucumbers is banned. So in 2013, the government of the Philippines started to impose regulations on sea cucumbers, particularly on the 5 centimeter minimum size limit for the dried sandfish product. That's according to DAB FAR 2013. So that's all for my reporting. I hope you learned something. And again, good day, everyone. And stay safe and God bless.